Hey everybody, it is Saturday, September 12th, and it's time for my sketchbook review. Not very many sketches this week. I started school, and there was a lot of pre-work, which I got most of it done. And right now I'm kind of procrastinating because I do actually have quite a bit of homework. I have a ton of reading. I have some math I need to look up the last few problems for, and just so on and so forth. But this is going to be how it is for the next 7 weeks for me, and it's going to be pretty rough. We've had our official class, so we sat down and looked at the workloads, and basically I'm not going to have much of a life, but I'm still going to try to find time to do art and things like that because I feel like it helps me to get through the semesters. So as a result, because I was doing that, and then I had clinical, and then it's today, and I was working on nothing but schoolwork up until schoolwork, and I was trying to do commissions, but I could do commissions, but when there's timelines involved, I can't really do them. And I was working on all of that all week, and now I'm to this point, and I'm like, well, crap, I don't really have anything good to show. So it is what it is, and I understand that. So I feel disappointed because I have to turn down work. But at the same time, there's no sense in me taking on work if it's not going to be quality work, or if I'm just going to hurry up and get it done to get it done. I still have a few more commissions to do, and they won't be too terrible, so I'm okay with it. But yeah, I kind of feel bad. But at the same time, it's like, it's not that I'm not taking commissions, it's that I can't take commissions with deadlines right now because I never know from day to day how much time I'm going to have for studying versus homework, because there's varying homework assignments per day, and they all have to be completed, because none of it's not like extra credit either. It's all classwork. It's all contributing to the points for my passing, and if we don't do it, it's a negative to the points for my class, passing my class. And like I said, this is my last med-surg class. After this, no more med-surg. So I really want to do well in the class, and I want to get as much out of it because this is the last med-surg class up until I take my NCLEX. So I need to get in as much information as possible. And on top of that, I have leadership next, and they're going to expect me to be able to work on my own. And I'm not very confident that I can. It just depends on where they put me. So, okay, enough about that. These were from last week, actually, and I forgot to show them. This is the Piper picture that I showed you guys in my sketchbook. And I just redrew it, and I re-inked it, and I messed up her eye. I realized it's pretty small. But what I did was I took some watercolor and I just kind of blocked in watercolors, and then I did the outline and everything. And I think it turned out really nice for a first time. I think the brown shouldn't have been added, but you live and learn. This technique was something that I'd seen an artist named Nikki Napalm do. So I was just kind of emulating her style a little bit, but she's really awesome, so you guys should go check her out. It's Nikki Napalm on Facebook. Not Facebook, oh my god, my brain is dead. On YouTube. And then I was going to do this one, but I messed up because it's the Amy picture, but I inked it, and you're supposed to do the watercolor first and then ink. So I learned my lesson, kind of. Yeah. And then onwards, oh wait, I want to show you guys some purchases, because I went through clinical and I did really good, and I didn't bite anybody's head off. I went and I did some purchasing because, yeah. So I got 2 of these Artist Loft 5.5 by 8 inch sketchbooks. That's what this is right here, and I love this. I mean, yes, okay, it's not marker paper, guys, and you're very rarely going to find an actual carry-around sketchbook that you can use color in that isn't going to bleed straight through when it comes to markers. It's just the way it is. But I like the feel of the paper. I like the tooth of the paper. And honestly, I think I've made some of my best art on this paper. So I picked up 2 more because I kind of been trucking through this one, and I imagine that this will be done if I keep doing what I'm doing. I probably will be done with this in just a couple months, depending on how much time I have to draw. So I picked up a couple more because I've been kind of holding back on doing like my duck work and stuff, because I'm like, I don't want to fill up a sketchbook with duck work. I want my human work in here. Well, I should be able to do my duck work in anything. So I was holding myself back because I only have one of these. And I was like, well, fine, I'm going to get 2 more so I can put my ductwork in here and in here and in here along with my humans. So there's plenty here. These were $4.99 because it's Artist's Loft and they're always like $4.99, $4.99 everything. I think it's like a $4.99 art supplies thing. But I do like the feel. The stickers, when they come off, they tend to rip the covers, which is why I made stickers for that one. But I do love the feel of this paper. It's nice and white. I mean, it's a cheap sketchbook, so you're going to get little areas where there's crap on the page, which I hate, but whatever. That's what happens when you buy things from a store. But yes, the paper is just, I really like it. It doesn't sit completely flat, but you can force it down and it's not too bad. So I'm very happy with them. So I got 2 more of those. And I had a 40% off coupon. I don't know what they took the 40% off of because everything else was on sale. So I imagine that it was one of the sketchbooks. I also picked up some more Copics because they were 20% off if you bought 3. And I was like, well, all right. I'd never really see them on sale. So when I saw them on sale, I was like, ugh, I could do this. So these are the colors I got. Was B21 because I don't have any light blues at all. And it's kind of frustrating because I can't layer my blues because I only have dark and darker. And then I got a Lipstick Natural, which is, I don't have any dark pinks. So yeah, I wanted that. And then I got a BV00 Mauve Shadow. Now, I like the shadow tones because I can use those to blend. As long as it's like a purpley color, like a purple or a blue, I can use this to blend. So, and I don't have very many light colors, and I've noticed that. Light colors and I have tons of mid colors, and then I have all my grays and all my grays and warms and cools. But I have lots of mid-tones, but I don't have a whole lot of super darks, and I don't have a whole lot of super lights. So I need to print out, actually, some sort of a guide and fill it in. But yeah, that was that purchase. And because a lot of us are stressing out already, I went ahead and did this. I bought these artist coloring books. I got cats because a lot of the girls like cats. And so what I'm going to do is make copies of the pages so that way, you know, people can all have a turn at trying them. And I'm thinking about just kind of having coloring parties, like when people are too stressed out, pull these out with some crayons or something and be like, okay guys, this is what we're doing. It's like we'll study, but we need to do this. So I got that. I got Art Nouveau because I love Art Nouveau. Like, it's one of my favorite styles of art. I've always loved it, and it's actually pretty inspirational looking at the books for designs and things like that. It just makes me so happy. And I also got this Glorious Gardens. Now these two I picked up at B. Dalton, which I think it's B. Dalton. Yeah, it's B. Dalton. Borders doesn't exist anymore. I picked these two up at B. Dalton, so they were super overpriced. This was like $5 at Michael's, so I was like, ah. But I seen them at Michael's, and I was looking for a cat one at B. Dalton, and they didn't have one, but they had these two, and I was like, ah. So I'm just going to go ahead and make copies, and I'm going to go ahead and just, you know, try and encourage everybody to use color therapy to keep their stress levels down. Like, these butterfly ones are really nice, and then there's some flower ones over here which are really nice. Yeah. So it'll be awesome. If people want to do it. I kind of imagine that people will not want to do it. But me, this is more for me than anything. Because sometimes, like, I draw and people think it's ridiculous that I would draw and not want to color my own stuff. But sometimes the frustration of drawing something and then coloring it, it's too much work. So it's sometimes nice to just have something pre-made to color. There's nothing wrong with it. And I can use my cheapo depot art supplies that are just sitting there collecting dust. So let's get on to the main event, sketches. So this is where we left off last week, was with this differentiation between Amy and Piper's face shapes and stuff. So I started from there, and the first thing I did were some demon girls. I think I was looking on Tumblr and I saw somebody had doodled a demon girl or something. I was like, I want to draw one. So I got this nice voluptuous lady over here, and then I have her, I don't know, sister, friend, whatever. Another another semi-voluptuous, but not as much. She's clearly heavier than her. Did it on purpose. And I just kind of doodled them. And then I was like, you know something? I think I can ink these ones. It'd be fun. So I pulled out, because I'm trying to get in as much inking practice as possible. So I pulled out my pocket Pentel brush pen and my Pentel pocket brush, and I inked them. It didn't turn out the best, but they didn't turn out the worst either. And then, of course, I had to do another Piper, kind of like Mr. Burnsing, like, excellent. But really, I was just kind of drawing at that point. I think I'd been working on schoolwork, and I was just brain dead. And then I wanted to do a full body of Jade, like getting ready to jump off a building or something like that. Really, there was no thought. I just wanted to do a full body. And I think it turned out pretty good. I think her head might be a little bit too big for her body, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. She's about 5 and like a quarter, and she's supposed to be small, but yeah, I don't know. But I did a full body, because I think people don't realize I can do full body. I just choose to do more up close stuff because I feel like it's more personal. And then I was reading some stuff about gargoyles, and I was like, oh yes. So I started developing a gargoyles OC, because why not? And I used to have one, actually. I used to roleplay one, and the roleplay died like immensely quick. It was like me and one other person and like his girlfriend. And we got into it and roleplayed pretty good for like a week. And then he disappeared, and I was like, oh, well, that sucks. So yeah, but this is kind of a mash between her and I would say Piper. Piper is heavily influenced on me, like physically, just because it's easier that way for me to design a character that's more based on me. Now, she doesn't look like me, and there's a difference. She has the same hair as me, although my hair's not that long, and that's about it. So that's about as close to a character portrait as you guys are ever going to get. So I tend to default to her because I draw her the most. But whatever, it doesn't matter. So I decided that she's going to have like 2 little ridges that come back and curl out, and then her hair is parted in a way that the ridges are right here, so the hair goes around them, and then like it's divided right here, and then she has 2 loose bangs, and I thought that that was nice. And then it's pulled back into like a loose braid. And then I was just kind of trying to figure out her wings. She's gonna have the full wing. She's not gonna have like the little squirrel wings like what Lexington has. And I didn't want her to have full arms in the wings like some of them have, so I just gave her the indentations of there's like a heavier cartilage or whatever to help her stabilize. But when she like folds her wings over, she doesn't have like on the outside, she doesn't have the little arms here, and she only has 1 cuff. She doesn't have like little hands like some of them do. So then I decided to just kind of finalize her face design, and I gave her her name. Her name is Sabine, but her nickname is Bean. It's B-I-N, but it's pronounced B-E-A-N, which is cute. And I forgot that gargoyles don't have eyebrows, so I took away her eyebrows and gave her the eyebrow ridges, which is what she's supposed to have. And I just kind of finalized her. She's like a more modern gargoyle, I would imagine, because obviously she'd have to be more modern, but I imagine at some point all the gargoyles that were left on Avalon probably would make their way towards the mainland, unless they wanted to stay on Avalon just to prolong their life or whatever, or just to kind of repopulate, but whatever. Somehow she ended up on the mainland, and she's going to be doing her thing, but there's really no story to her really yet, so whatever. And then I wanted to draw a fancy hat, and I hadn't drawn Lydia as a human in a very long time, so she became my subject. Of course, her face, just ugh. Chin needs to come down so much, but jaw needs to come down so much, but I wasn't thinking when I was inking. But again, it was just a quick doodle, and then I did some quick inks over top of it just to get it done. Not just to get it done, but just to get some practice in. But I think it turned out kind of nice. Lydia's very conservative girly girl, so even though she's got like a really, really nice body, she always keeps it covered up like with looser stuff. Like she'll wear tight belts or sashes or whatever to accent her waist and her hips, but for the most part she just likes to keep covered up. She doesn't like to be showy, really. She doesn't even really like having bare arms, but that changes as she gets older. And since I was having fun drawing Lydia, I decided to draw her eating a sandwich. I was like, she likes sandwiches. So I doodled a picture of her eating a sandwich, and I inked it really quick because I don't know, I just thought it was a super cute illustration. And then a picture of her and Piper. Now Piper's face is a little derp, but Piper is very doting on Lydia, like loves her. Like everything Lydia does is cute and adorable regardless of her age, and Piper is just so proud of her that like endlessly embarrassing her by praising her, because you know she doesn't take praise very well. She's very not receptive of it. She's got very low confidence in herself, which is ridiculous because she's such an awesome character, but that's the character. Okay, and so here we have Chat Noir from Miraculous Ladybug, or I don't know, they changed the name, didn't they? It used to be Miraculous Girl Ladybug, then it just turned to Ladybug, now it's like Miraculous Ladybug. It doesn't matter. I saw the Korean version though. It was on YouTube for a little while. It's since been removed. But I did watch the episode. Didn't understand a single word of what they were saying because there's no English translations, but that's okay. I still enjoyed the episode from what I saw. The dialogue's going to make a huge difference because if it's like really cheesy dialogue, I won't enjoy it. But regardless, I love the character, so I doodled a quick picture of him. Now, this is based more on the 2D version of him instead of the 3D version of him. So, yeah, I doodled it, and then I inked it, and I was like, you know, it doesn't look too bad, and I've got some time, so I went ahead and I threw some color on it because I haven't done any color work since my Elisa Maza back, like, way back in the pages. Well, no, I think I might have done an Amy. Yeah, I did Amy, since Amy. So I decided to do another quick colored piece. And then this is it, I believe. Nope, there's one more. This was supposed to be Cassie and Lydia kind of walking in, like Cassie's just kind of in her own world, ha 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 ha, you know, doing her thing. And Lydia's just kind of like listening because Lydia is 110% a follower. I have designed her to be that way. And I feel like Lydia a lot of times represents what I tried to be in order to make friends. So that's why Lydia has like a little place in my heart. Luckily, Cassie is not the kind of friend who like abuses that power because, you know, when I would do that as a kid, then people would tell me to go do things that weren't necessarily right or not necessarily ethical. And I wouldn't do it, but at the same time, it was always that crossroad because you always want to keep the peace and you always want to keep conflict to a minimum. And the second you say no, it causes conflict. So Lydia is a pretty good representation of how I felt. It's not how I was because God knows I ran my mouth, and Lydia does not. But it was kind of how I felt at times. It's like I always have to follow. I always have to give other people, you know, let them do what they want because if they don't, then they're just going to argue and fight and I'd rather not, sort of thing. So, yeah. But this was going to be just them kind of walking through the mall or something. And, I believe I was in clinical when I doodled that. No, I wasn't. It was the night before clinical. I was going to sit down and make myself... Oh, excuse me, I'm pretty tired. Ah. I was going to make myself draw, and then it just didn't happen. I just, I fell asleep. I was, like, asleep at 8 o'clock. But I'd been in class for, like, 8 hours, and I was so overwhelmed and stressed, I just went home, ate some food, and just knocked right out. These were done at clinical yesterday because we had some downtime. I was trying to draw Scrooge McDuck. Excuse me. And it turns out I'm just not good at drawing Scrooge McDuck. So we'll leave it at that. This was a fail page. I have several of them, but now this week I think the Sabine and all the Lydia work was really good. The Chat Noir was really good. Very, very, very much like the character. But again, it's hard to say whether I like the character or not because all I can base it off is what I saw in the Korean version, which, you know, if you don't understand what they're saying, you don't really get a feel for the character because, you know, the way that we present ourselves through our speech is very indicative of the kind of people we are. And yeah, his actions were pretty clear, but again, with the 2D animation or the 3D animation, everything felt stiff. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, because that's what I love about 2D animation is you can express so much more, which is why I liked it. I didn't need words in the preview or the trailer for Miraculous Ladybug. I did not need words in that trailer. The music alone was enough because you could tell just from the images between the two different kinds of students that Chat Noir was, his daily life and then his superhero persona. You could tell the difference between the characters just in the way that they acted, and the 2D brought that out so well. But with the 3D, you can't tell the difference. You can't even tell that they're acting different. So it looks like he just acts the same regardless of what position he's in. So maybe the dialogue will clear that up. But again, that's why I am such a huge supporter of 2D animation, because in a 2D format, you can just 110% make your point. And with 3D, it's like, it's so much work. If you had one design for one character in one sense, and then another design for another character in another sense, and then toss into that when they like put on superhero garb or whatever, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of rendering. But at the same time, it's like, you know something? The stiff feeling and everything that you get from it, I'm just not happy with it. I just, like I said, a 5-minute 2D clip did more for me than a 30-minute 3-dimensional fully polished cartoon or show that they had aired, and that just makes me kind of sad for it, but I'm still giving it a chance, so whatever. But alright, so that's it for this week. If you guys have any questions, comments, go ahead and drop those below. Hit that like and subscribe button. I like my likes, I like my subscribes. Feel free to message me with any questions. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.